Welcome to The Explainer. You know that feeling you sometimes get that what you see, the world right in front of you, might not be the whole story? That there's something more, something deeper going on? Well, today we're diving headfirst into that feeling.
We're essentially on a conceptual detective story today, using a really deep analysis of the spiritual text A Course in Miracles as our guide. Our mission? To solve the mystery of why we see a world that's so separate and divided when reality itself might be completely unified. We're going to follow 6 key clues to crack this case wide open.
All right, let's get into it. Our investigation starts with a real head-scratcher, a case that seems to break all the rules of logic, the perception paradox.
So this is the core of the mystery, straight from our source material. And it's a wild one. It's telling us that our perception is basically backwards. We see division in empty space where there's actually nothing, and at the same time, we're completely blind to the profound unity that's really there.
This is the big question driving our whole investigation. I mean, if reality is truly one single thing, how is it possible that everything, this screen, the room you're in, even other people, feel so obviously separate? Let's go find our first clue.
So, our first real lead in this case comes from something we all do every single day without even thinking about it. We use words. We use language. The analysis here points to something pretty incredible. When we give something a name, like chair or book or cloud, we think we're just sticking a label on it. But what's really happening unconsciously is an act of creation. We're essentially taking a pair of scissors to the seamless fabric of reality and cutting out a separate thing.
This whole process, which our source says is driven by our ego, our sense of being a separate self, it follows this very clear, almost mechanical 3-step pattern. First, you name it. Second, that name makes it a separate thing in your mind. And third, just by doing that, you've chipped another piece off of the unified whole. It's literally how we build this fragmented world we experience.
Okay, now our investigation takes us to the scene of the crime, so to speak. And the main tool used to pull off this massive illusion is our idea of space itself.
So the analysis breaks it down like this. There are 2 kinds of space. First, there's the width, the measurable distance between 2 objects. This is the space our ego loves because it seems to prove that things are separate. But then there's this other kind of space, depth. That's the subjective feeling of space between you and the world. And according to this, that's where unity is hiding in plain sight.
We're so trained to see the gaps, that width that separates everything, that we completely miss the depth that actually connects us to it all. It's like we're staring so hard at the cracks in the pavement that we don't realize we're standing on solid ground. We literally can't see the unity for the spaces.
And this idea leads us to a huge breakthrough in our case. To really get how this perceptual switch works, the analysis brings in a couple of really powerful ideas from, of all places, the world of logic.
Okay, so the first way of seeing is called intention, with an S. The easy way to remember it is to think inside. It's all about looking at the internal qualities, the list of attributes that make something what it is. A cat is a cat because it has these specific features, which means it is not a dog. It's a way of seeing that defines, limits, and separates.
The second way is extension, and you can think of this as extending outward. This way of seeing doesn't care about what makes things different. It's all about the whole group, the entire set that a concept includes. Instead of listing why a cat is a cat, it just points to all the cats. It's about total inclusion, no limits. So here's the bottom line. These 2 modes create completely different worlds. The ego's way is to see through intention, always sorting, judging, and separating everything based on its attributes. And what you get is a world of separate, competing objects. The spirit's way, on the other hand, is to see with extension. It's always looking for what's shared, for the connection, for the unity. And the result? A reality that's whole, connected, and peaceful.
Okay, so just when you think you've got it figured out, our detective story throws a major curveball. It's a plot twist that's been hiding in plain sight, or rather, in plain sound.
Get this. The word for the ego's limiting worldview, intention with an S, sounds exactly like our word for purpose and will.
intention with a T. The source argues that this is absolutely not a coincidence. It's a linguistic clue, a little breadcrumb trail pointing to the ego's sneakiest trick.
And the Course itself lays it right out there with this pretty stark warning. It's telling us that the things we call our good intentions, well, they might not be as good as we think. They could actually be a cover for something else entirely.
So how does this trap work? It's really subtle. Our ego can take our genuine desire to be a good person or to do something special and hijack it. That very intention, which feels so positive, is still based on defining ourselves by our unique qualities, our intention. And by doing that, it just reinforces the fundamental illusion that we are separate individuals. It's a brilliant trap that uses our best qualities against us.
And with that final mind-bending clue, the case of the perception paradox is pretty much solved. We've seen the method, we've seen the motive, so the big question is, what now? What do we do with all this?
So let's just do a quick recap of our findings. We learned that we build a world of separation just by naming things. We get fooled by the width between objects and totally miss the depth that connects everything. This happens because we're choosing the ego's way of seeing, its limiting intention, over the spirit's way of seeing, its unifying extension. And we've even seen how our noblest intentions can be a part of this whole trick.
Ultimately, the biggest takeaway here is that this isn't just some abstract philosophical idea. It's intensely practical. The world of separate people and things isn't some fixed reality that's being forced on us. According to this analysis, it's a reality we are actively choosing to see in every single moment.
And that leaves us with one final, pretty provocative thought to take with us. The next time you go to label something, or someone, or even yourself, just pause and ask, am I just defining what's there? Or am I accidentally building a wall and in the process limiting what's actually possible? The choice, it would seem, is always ours.